Hey guys, this is Sagar from techworks.com. Are you wondering if iPhone 6 is better than iPhone 5s? Or you just can't decide which one to buy? Stick around and get your answers in this comparison video. Starting with the design, first thing you will notice about the iPhone 6 is that it has a bigger display and is wider than previous generation iPhones. Yet, Apple has somehow managed to make it thinner than ever. The beautiful chamfered edges that we saw on the iPhone 5s are no more to be found on the iPhone 6. Instead, it has rounded edges on its sides. The curved glass on the front is perfectly matched with the aluminum curved back. This gives a seamless feel when you swipe your finger from the side onto the screen. Since the launch of iOS 7 in 2013, Apple had this swipe to go back gesture in many apps. I never used it much on the iPhone 5s, but since I have the iPhone 6, I find myself using this gesture a lot. Maybe it's because I don't want to extend my thumb all the way to the top of the screen to go back, or maybe it's because of the new curved design, but it just feels right to do it this way. Taking a look around the devices, on the left side, both devices have volume up and down buttons, but you can see that the volume buttons on the iPhone 6 are now elongated and not round as on the iPhone 5s. The mute switch is in the same place on both the phones. On the bottom, we have 3.5mm headphone jack, a microphone, lightning connector, and a speaker. The speaker grill on the iPhone 6 is redesigned, and the speaker sounds better than that of the iPhone 5s. Moving towards the right side, on the iPhone 6 we have the power button just above the nano SIM tray, and on the iPhone 5s we have the power button at the top. Both these phones have anodized aluminum back, but on the back of iPhone 6 we do not have white or black colored bands at the top and bottom like we see on the iPhone 5s. Instead, we have an unibody aluminum back and antenna bands at the top and the bottom. The Apple logo at the back of iPhone 5s is etched on the aluminum back, but that on the iPhone 6 is made up of stainless steel, which is much more shinier and looks a lot better. Despite the larger screen and body, you can still use the iPhone 6 comfortably with one hand. You just have to slightly adjust how you grip the phone, and you can easily cover the whole screen with your thumb while using it with one hand. However, if you feel that you cannot reach the top of the screen, Apple has added a feature called reachability, where you just have to double tap on the Touch ID sensor and the whole display just slides down so that you can easily reach the buttons, apps, or toggles that are at the top of your screen. The new placement of the power button on the iPhone 6 makes it easier to lock and unlock the phone with one hand. It would have not been very comfortable to lock the phone if the power button was placed at the top like the iPhone 5s. iPhone 5s has a 4-inch Retina display with a resolution of 1136 by 640 pixels, and the iPhone 6 has a 4.7-inch Retina display with a resolution of 1334 by 750 pixels. This is the first time Apple has put a HD screen on an iPhone. The larger display of the iPhone 6 has 38% more pixels than that of the iPhone 5s. Both these phones have a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. With the new dual domain pixel structure, the iPhone 6 has higher viewing angles and much better contrast ratio than the iPhone 5s. iPhone 5s has an Apple A7 64-bit dual-core processor clocked at 1.3 GHz and 1 GB of RAM, and the iPhone 6 has an Apple A8 64-bit dual-core processor clocked at 1.4 GHz and also 1 GB of RAM. The A8 processor in the iPhone 6 has 25% faster CPU and 50% faster graphics capabilities than the A7 processor found in the iPhone 5s. Both the phones have Touch ID sensor that allows you to unlock your device with just your fingerprint. The new Touch ID sensor on the iPhone 6 is not only more accurate and faster, but it also understands gestures. When you double tap on the home button, the whole display slides down, making it easier to use the device with one hand. With Touch ID, you can authorize payments via Apple Pay. On the iPhone 5s, you can use this feature for online transactions only. But thanks to the NFC chip on the iPhone 6, you can use Touch ID to authorize contactless Apple Pay transactions, which for now is only available in the US. Both the phones have 8-megapixel asset camera with f2.2 aperture and a true tone flash. What's new in the iPhone 6 is a new sensor with focus pixels, which helps in super fast focus and improved face detection while taking pictures. These focus pixels also help in continuous autofocus while taking videos. This is a video shot with iPhone 5s. You can see as I bring the iPhone 6 in the frame, the camera does not focus on the iPhone 6, so I have to manually tap on the screen where I have to focus. And as I remove the phone from the frame, the camera does not refocus on the objects in the frame, so I have to again tap on the screen to make it focus on a particular object in the frame. Now this is a video shot by iPhone 6. As I bring the iPhone 5s in the frame, the camera automatically focuses on it without me having to tell it where to focus. And the same thing happens when I remove the 5s from the frame. It again focuses on the background, and all this happens very fast. This is because of the continuous autofocus in the iPhone 6, which works really well. On the iPhone 5s, you can record 1080p HD videos at 30 frames per second. And on iPhone 6, you have an option to record 1080p HD videos at 30 or 60 frames per second. With iPhone 6, you can choose to shoot slow motion videos at 120 or 240 frames per second, which means you can shoot even slower, awesome videos like this. Here are some of the images compared side by side. As you can see, the colors in the images taken with the iPhone 5s seem a bit washed out compared to that of the iPhone 6. Here is a picture of the same setup with low light, and we can see that the iPhone 6 captures slightly better picture and few more details in low light. Here is a picture taken outdoors with both the phones. Again, the picture taken with iPhone 6 appears a bit sharper and the color of the sky is more accurate. These low light outdoor images by both the phones are not very good, but just to compare the two, we see the images taken with the iPhone 5s show more noise or grains compared to that taken with the iPhone 6. Let us take a look at the storage options on both these phones. iPhone 5s comes with 16, 32 and 64 GB of built-in memory, which has been traditional memory options offered by Apple for quite some time now. However, the storage options on the iPhone 6 also start at 16 GB, but after that, Apple has skipped the 32 GB version and instead now offers 64 GB and 128 GB storage options. These are good changes, especially considering the fact that the new 64 GB and 128 GB options are available at the same price at which Apple last year offered 32 and 64 GB iPhone 5s respectively. The iPhone 5s packs in 1570 mAh battery inside its back, and the iPhone 6 has a 1810 mAh battery inside it. While the battery capacity on the iPhone 6 is slightly higher than that of the iPhone 5s, it still has to power a larger display. Apple claims that the new A8 processor is much more energy efficient and you can get a lot more usage out of the iPhone 6 compared to the iPhone 5s. But in my test, the battery performance of the iPhone 6 is just marginally better than that of the iPhone 5s. With the bigger battery, I was able to squeeze in an hour and a half or sometimes 2 hours of more usage from the iPhone 6 compared to the iPhone 5s. I would have preferred if instead of making the iPhone 6 super thin, Apple would have put a bigger battery to make it last significantly longer than the iPhone 5s. So in conclusion, is the iPhone 6 better than the iPhone 5s? Yes, it definitely is. But the answer to the question that should you choose iPhone 6 or iPhone 5s depends on what you are looking for in your next phone. If you are using an iPhone 5 or earlier and you need a bigger display in your next phone, or if you take a lot of photos and videos and you need a better camera on a smartphone, or if for some reason you need a 128 GB of built-in storage, then you should definitely go for the iPhone 6. But if these things are not on the top of your list and you don't want to spend much on the new iPhone 6, then you should get an iPhone 5s, which is now available at a lower price. It is still a very fast smartphone and can do everything that you might expect from a smartphone. Hope this video helped you, and if it did, then please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel for more videos. This is Sagar from techworks.com, and I'll see you in the next video.